You are now listening to the Purpose Edits podcast.
You got to be willing to be vulnerable. You have to have the ability to self-assess, and not everybody has the ability to self-assess.
You don't necessarily have to like school to be successful in school. You just have to know how to play the game and finesse it and get through it.
Welcome to the Purpose Edits podcast. This is a short yet powerful conversation designed to help you do 3 things that can ultimately change the trajectory of your life. 1, discover your purpose. 2, walk in your purpose. And 3, ultimately fulfill your purpose. I am your host, Coach Vic, and I'm joined as always by my lifelong friend, my brother, the educator, Dr. Shane Calhoun. Purpose Edits, what's up? We back again. Shane, homie, what up, man?
Yo, what's going on, big bro?
Oh, you know, the usual, man. I'm trying to make $1 out of 12 cents. I got 2 extra cents now with this new job.
I know that's right. Let me hold some.
Man,
Let me hold some.
No, I ain't there yet. No. See, the minute you come up, boy, people want to get in your pockets.
Perception, buddy.
True.
Perception. You said 2 more cents, so I'm just trying to grab some. If you got 2 more, that means you were only operating on 10. I can get that extra 2.
Or maybe you could ask for 1 and let me keep the 1 extra. At least let me feel like I came up at all.
Tomato.
Selfish mother. You know what? I'm done talking to you. We're going to bring in our guest because obviously you're in a mood today. For our audience, I want to introduce you to somebody very special, near and dear friend from way back in the day. We go way back, almost 20 years. This young lady is a multi-million-dollar producing realtor and owner of 111 Property Group.
Let me hold some.
That's who you need to be asking to hold some.
Let me hold some.
Now, here's what's dope. Her and her real estate team have a long-standing history of serving the underrepresented communities, not just in their area, but across the entire country. And she's going to tell you a lot about what that journey is like. The key part about this is they've been focusing their efforts on helping consumers, that's you and I, us in the audience, understand what their buying power is. She's got some secret sauce that hopefully she will give up a little bit today. I won't let her give it all. Now, again, I've known her for a long time, and there's still parts of her story that I'm just now learning. When you hear it, I promise you, you're going to be inspired behind the story of resilience and perseverance. I want you to please welcome Miss Brittany Thornton. Miss Britt, what's up?
Hey, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah.
Tonight. This is great. I wasn't expecting it, and it's definitely a blessing to be able to share. So I'm glad to be here.
We certainly appreciate you popping in. I know it was last minute. It's hard to nail you down. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see she is in her car.
I am.
Why are you in your car?
I am, because my days are long. They are rewarding, but they are long. And actually right now, I'm ending my day at my daughter's basketball practice that didn't even start until 8 o'clock. So I'm sitting outside of practice. She's inside working on her shot and skills. And, I'm being mom and entrepreneur at the same time. So I just left the showing and grabbed her from the house. My son is actually in the back seat also. And
welcome,
we headed to practice.
Yeah, he's on the show too. We got a segment for him later.
Yeah, he's there. So, just my days are long. And at the end of the day, first things first, I am a mom. And to be honest, I got into real estate full time into real estate. I actually did real estate in my career, worked that in criminal courts for 2 years, and then decided to just do 100% real estate for my kids so I could be more available to them. There are days that I'm not that available, but I actually did it for them, primarily for them, so that I could just have more income, be more available, all those good things. So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I told y'all, people, this gonna be a good one. Before we dive all the way in, Shane, Our people expect certain things from us. The Purpose Addicts community expects certain things of us. So I got to ask you, what blew your mind this week?
It's a two-part, and I've been meaning to tell you this for a while. So last time I went to Florida, it's probably July, right? I flew Frontier. Now, everybody has their own opinions. Me, I'm frugal. So I'm going with the best price, whatever. So my phone was about to die. And as I'm walking, you're walking down the strip in the Atlanta airport, and like you go through Southwest, looks all lit and pretty. You walk through Delta. I'm like, God, my phone's, I got to charge my phone. I'm going to go back to, where my terminal is. So I'm walking. As I'm walking towards Frontier, it's getting darker and darker and darker. And like everywhere else is just so clean. Not a lot of people plenty of space. I get to Frontier. It looks like a jungle. I mean, people on top of people. Things is everywhere. It's hot. The part of the airport is dark. So I'm like, man, you get what you pay for. I look around, no charger for the phone. So I'm like, crap. They don't even give you a wall charger. So, all right, stick it. I'm going to go walk back. I'm going to go holler at Delta. So I go back, walk back, go sit down at Delta. Yeah, I'm going to charge my phone. Plug it in, nothing works. Go to, it's just this one. Go to it, nothing works. So the moral of the story is that you're going to get what you paid for. Okay. It's cheap for a reason. You're going to get what you paid for. But the other part about that, perception is not always reality.
Ooh.
So Delta's over there looking pretty and clean. And I go over there to the charger don't work, fam.
Ooh.
Perception is not always reality. And it kind of is like what we talked about last week. Props for props, or props with no props, or whatever it is like a lot of us out here faking, man. Brittany was just talking about the long hours. Like people don't realize success is hard work, people.
Man, say it louder for the people in the back.
Success is hard work, people. You don't just wake up and decide, hey, I'm gonna make $1 million today. Hey, I'm gonna have a successful business today. This shit is work, dog. Work.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I didn't know where you were going with that. I thought you was ruling out us getting a sponsorship deal with Frontier. I thought that's what you was trying to do.
Well, they messed me up this time around too, because I had a flight and I couldn't get my money back this Saturday, but that's okay.
All right, no sponsorship deal with Frontier. Just X
that one off.
Yeah, I had, but not no more. All right, but the reality though, Britt, I mean, what he said, like you told us to start the show off, everything that you did just today. That's a typical day for you, right?
That's a typical day. That's six, sometimes 7 days a week. But yes, that's a typical day. That's a typical day. I have to plan rest. I have to plan self-care. And, it usually consists of 5 or 6 days in a row. But there's weeks, months in between that. Yeah.
To Shane, to your point, right? Perception isn't always reality. Entrepreneurship, a lot of people want it, but they want the sexy parts of it, right?
Man.
They want all the glitz and glamour to say I'm an entrepreneur, to say I'm a business owner.
Yep.
But what really comes with that, you right?
What's more work?
Are your outlets gonna work?
Yeah.
Man, oh my goodness.
That's a good way to put it, bro. Yeah, man. It's shoot, wake up go to bed at 1 because you got stuff to do. Wake up at 5 because you got stuff to do. Get your stuff done, get the kid ready for school. Out by 6:30, drive an hour, meeting, grade 50 papers, 2 classes, another meeting, grade more papers, another meeting, drive an hour back to make sure you pick the kid up by 5:30.
And we even talked about your business. This is just.
I mean, this is just
9 to 5.
meeting. So now we come here, get the kid ready. We'll be on here for probably an hour. I'm not gonna eat because if I eat, I'm gonna fall asleep. So I'll just drink, maybe eat a fruit, put another 3 hours in. It's midnight again. Go repeat the process.
Yep.
It's guys, stuff ain't easy, man.
Yeah.
Stuff ain't easy.
Yeah. Look, Britt, let's teach them a little bit. Let's learn and lean into your story. First question that we are going to throw at you is what we ask every guest. As a purpose addict, you have a passion for something. What are you most passionate about?
This is probably the third time that I've been asked that. And the first time I was asked it, I was a little bit like taken aback. But I still have the same answer, which is developing people. In my work, for 17 years, I worked in criminal courts, human services. I worked in that for 17 years, and it's helping other people take back their life, essentially. It's their wraparound services. It's, addiction and recovery. It's homelessness. It's everything it's the underserved populations. And in a nutshell, what I was doing was helping to develop them. And even in real estate, I'm still developing people. As a realtor, as the vice president at the last brokerage I was with, and now as my own business owner and having a team of agents under me, I still am developing people. I'm coaching, I'm mentoring, I'm guiding. And so at the end of the day, I know my purpose here on earth is developing people, no matter where I am and what role I'm in. That's always what I end up doing every time. Never fails. No matter what the title is.
But being a realtor has, all the implications that this is about self. I can get in and make a whole bunch of money for me. Why develop others? Why do that?
I'll tell you, a lot of, I think the perception, and you hit on it a little bit when you talked about entrepreneurship, and we like the pretty, the flashy, the sexy part of it, but the reality is this: like, one, in real estate and as a realtor, there are hundreds of thousands. There's thousands right here in the Metroplex where I am in DFW, but there's hundreds of thousands across the country. Why pick me, right? Why do my clients pick me? Why do I have a constant referral base? Because I develop a relationship with each and every one of my clients. I don't care if their budget is $1.5 million, $2 million, or if their budget is 110 or 105. Either doesn't matter. I'm developing a relationship with them, and that's what makes me stand apart. There are agents that are just money driven and money hungry, and I'm not saying they're not successful, but what I know is that they come back to me and I am referred because of my ability to develop those relationships. And that's the forefront of it, and I've always led any business with the mindset that let me develop the relationship, the money will follow, and it does.
Yeah.
Never fails.
Shane got a quote that says success leaves clues. And I think that's what you described even for yourself.
Yeah. And, to something I heard last night, your purpose really blossoms when it becomes about others. And
that's right.
It's not about you. It's not about, what I'm saying? Obviously you'll benefit. I put on, to this point, I had no idea. I put on Facebook today. It is possible to wake up most days, let's say 85% of the time, and love what you do. If you are tolerating that 15%, I strongly encourage you to abort the mission and get to that 85%.
Come on now.
It's there, man.
Yeah.
It's there, and it's a beautiful place if you ever get to walk in that space.
Yeah. And that's so true. That's literally 100% true. I enjoyed the work I did in human services and criminal courts.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say it probably was even more than 15%. It's probably more like 40 or 30% of
Yeah.
those days. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm dreading going in. And so I had to find my balance with what makes me happy, what makes an income, and still checking the box of this is still part of who I am and my purpose here on earth, you
Yeah.
know, here. And real estate kind of just fell into that. Like I fell into real estate because of that. And there are days that I wake up and I'm like,
What am I
one more time.
doing?
Like yeah. Oh my gosh. Like I literally just before jumped on here, I'm probably gonna have to terminate a contract. I've been working with this family for about 5 or 6 weeks. It's been under contract, and I think that they're doing some under the table stuff. And so, but the ethical thing to do, I have to do, is terminate the contract. Am I happy to terminate the contract? Heck no.
Yeah.
I just wasted a total of probably more than 60 days because we went looking for houses and, you know, all of these things. But at the end of the day, I have to do what feels right, is right, you know, all those things. And so I'm not always happy, but
So
we do have days.
yeah. So what exactly do you do, and what does a day look like for you?
Okay, a full day is in the morning. I get up, I'm at the gym usually around 5. Try to go 4 or 5 days a week. Try to. Every week though, for sure, at least 3. 5 o'clock in the morning I'm at the gym. That's my me time. That's the only time I have that is nobody's calling me, nobody's texting me, I'm not checking emails. It's before everybody else gets up. And so it's my me time. Throw some weight around, and then go home, get my kids up, get them ready and out the door to school. They're gone. From there, it's like off to the races. So I start checking emails. I'll usually head over to my office, probably have some calls in between there with some of my agents. Sometimes I do coach clients outside of my team as well. So I may have a meeting with a coaching agent. And the day kind of just flows. I'll be very honest, to always have daily goals. I have big 5, 10, 1 year, 6 months, but I try to have daily goals too. Because if I don't, literally everything will just, there's stuff to do all day, but I may not be productive in the things that I need to for sure get done. I try to have those in there, make sure that I check those boxes and get those daily goals done. But it's meetings, showings, appointments with potential partners, referrals, clients. Towards the end of the day, it's get back to the house. The kids are getting home from school. They both are in sports, so practice until about 8 or 9 o'clock at night.
So you said you
do it all again.
You said you like helping people. So you're a realtor. How would one become and get to your spot to where you're doing what you do? What's like the pathway or a good way to get to do what you do?
What's the pathway? I mean, obviously you got to get your license, you got to get licensed. The pathway to, and usually when I'm asked that question, they want to know, how am I a multi-million-dollar producer? How do you get there? I mean, I want to be licensed, but I want to sell like a lot of houses and make money. And so
word for word what they say.
They do. I want to sell houses, but I really want to make a lot of money. And I'm like, okay, get your feet on the ground, period. At the end of the day, there is literally nothing that I do and have done to build my brand and my business that nobody else can do. So I have been the person that will walk parking lots and put my flyer in their window. I am not ashamed. That is a friend of mine that taught me, was a promoter at one point in time, was like, hey, why don't we do this? I was like, you know what, great idea, let's go. 2,500 flyers, 5,000 flyers later in windows, phone calls, referrals coming in. Don't be afraid to step outside of your box. A lot of people get into real estate and they just want the closing day where they have balloons and keys in hand. But if you don't step outside of your box meaning posting on social media. A lot of people don't want to do that. And in really digging into the craft of real estate, building relationships, communication skills, developing those communication skills. Those are so important. Those are probably the most important pieces. Develop those communication skills so you can build a relationship and get out of your own way. Stop saying, I don't want to get on, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to post. I'm not going to post. I don't want to walk in, door knock. I don't want to make phone calls. Stop saying that. Do it. If you want to produce, then you have to start at the bottom.
At the bottom and work your way up.
Yeah.
Yeah, too many people focus on, like you say, they want to know how they get to the multi-million, but they don't care about nothing else. But if they could just boom, drop, it's a microwave.
Microwave. I've been writing this. I've been writing a course, and I'm telling you, that's it. Like our culture, our society, not culture, our society is such a microwave mentality. Such a microwave. They just want to put it in the microwave for 30 seconds, boop, and it's done. And you're like, no, it's not how it works. It's not how it works. And
it's a process.
It is such a process. Like, so many people get in and out of real estate because they assume as soon as I get in, like they're gonna give me leads, and then I'm gonna have a closing, and then I'm gonna have another one and another. No, that's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
No,
that's not how any of this works.
No. So I guess in a nutshell, it's two things: build those relationships, communication skills, and get your feet on the ground and go get it. Period. Stop talking about it. Just do it. Don't worry about other people. Do it. Do the work.
You know, I've talked to some people who tried to get into real estate and ended up getting out of it. And one of the common themes that they said caught them off guard was they didn't realize that real estate was sales.
And it is bottom of the barrel sales. Like, it is not the fluffy stuff. Like, it is door knocking sale. Like, it's like, remember, I don't know if you guys remember when you were kids, but you'd be at home in the summer and somebody would come to the door knocking and trying to get you to buy the vacuum cleaners and the certain cleaner, materials and stuff like that. That's what it is. Like, that's real estate. We door knock. We literally knock on doors and say, hey, I'm a realtor in the area. We literally put out flyers. I sponsor every snack on both of my kids' teams. And what's in that? My flyer, my business card.
Wow. I would have never thought about it that way.
She giving game. She giving game.
Like, it is sales, and it is. But now, once you get your client base, like, it sort of eases up a little bit, but you really can't ever take your foot off the gas.
No.
You always got to have your foot on the gas.
Because you got to keep feeding your pipeline. Like,
that's right.
The thing about sales. Like, the worst thing you could do is run out of leads. That is the worst thing you could do in sales, is run out of leads. And however you got leads to get to that place of comfort where it kind of settles, is the same stuff you have to keep doing, because eventually those original leads will run out.
They're going to run out. And you have to stay up on the market and the trends and what's going on, because your client base will shift.
Sure will.
Whereas, early part of this year, last year, year before, my client base was bigger. Like, I had people with more money. I'm just being honest. $1 million, $750,000, $850,000, because that's all that I could afford, those houses right there. Now my client base, I've got a $110,000 client right now. I've got a $220,000 client right now. I've got a couple 300s that I'm working with. Like, you have to be ready to shift and pivot. So I may have been able to close 10 in the, the 4 to 1 million and still been all right. But now I got to close 20 because I have $100,000 and $200,000 clients. So you have to be ready to pivot. And you have to stay above and on top of the, those trends in market, all of those things.
Let me throw this at you. For all of us, we hit crossroads at various points in our lives where we are sitting there questioning, did I make the right decision? Tell us about a time. when you hit that crossroad?
Ooh, there's been a couple of those. I mean, are we talking specifically in real estate? Or are we just saying in general?
Whatever you want to share. It's your world.
Man, I'd say the one that comes to mind, that the biggest crossroad that I've probably ever been in was in 2018. Was literally the hardest year of my life. From the beginning of that year up until July into summer time frame, literally probably the end of the year, we'll just say the whole year. At that time I lived in Seattle. I had moved to Seattle, took a promotion in 2016, moved out there. It was just me and my kids. I don't know anybody who lives in Seattle, never even had been on that side of the country until I moved there. And at that time in 2018 was my son had just turned 5 in February, and in March I watched him stop breathing on the table in the emergency room. He got admitted, was in the hospital for a week and a half in the ICU, and all in, he had about this much. I think it ended up being about 20% lung space that wasn't covered in pneumonia, viral and bacterial pneumonia, the flu. I mean, it was just bad. So went from that to the very next month, and Vic, you probably already, I'm sure you know this part, but my divorce was finalized. I was already a single mom before then, but I really became a single mom legally at that point too, the very next month. And then the next month after that, in May, I had to file bankruptcy because of the divorce. And I also became homeless for 2 kids in Seattle. It's cold in May in Seattle. And so I was homeless with my kids from May through the end of June. The end of June was when my daughter got out of school that year. Just ask God, please, Lord, let us make it. Let's make it through these next couple of months so that I can move back home. I came back to Dallas. I'm not from Dallas, but my family is here. And so made it through. I was working my full-time job in the criminal courts, driving for Lyft and Uber overnight and on the weekends. And we made it through those next couple of months. And showering at 24 Hour Fitness.
Wow.
Still going to the gym, but showering at 24 Hour Fitness, and left there on, my daughter got out of school June 22nd. We packed up the car, what I could fit in my car at the time, and drove back across the country, made it a road trip. So they didn't know we were homeless and moving back. And that was the reason why. They were still pretty young at that time. But we had a great time. We had made it a road trip. Took about a week. Drove down the coast of California over to Vegas, stopped there, Albuquerque, made it to Dallas in about a week. Luckily, and I thank God every day, my mom took us in. We took over her whole second half of her house. And she didn't make me pay rent. She didn't even know all that everything had gone on up the previous, 6 months of the year. She just knew her daughter and her grandbabies needed a place to stay. So that was that pivotal. That was like, did I make the right decision? When all those things were happening, and I said, okay, it's time to pivot. I have to move, I have to shift. And so that's why I moved back. That's probably the hardest. That's the one that comes to mind. There's been plenty of them, but it's probably the hardest. And I'm thankful for it. Yeah. It's been good. I came back here, moved back here. I think about maybe 2 weeks after I got back, I got into class got my real estate license, and it's been up ever since.
Immediately got to work. Immediately,
expeditiously. Got to work.
See, that's the stuff that people don't know, right? You in an intro, you say, here's a multi-million-dollar realtor, right? Ooh, can you show me how to sell houses and make a lot of money? Well, you ready to get homeless? Did you know that it's cold in May?
In Seattle, yes, it is.
Yeah, I need to take you through some stuff to get there. Are you willing to go through that? And most of the time, the answer is no.
Nope.
Right.
Yeah.
They might not tell you with words. A lot of times they'll show you with actions.
That's right.
I I got a friend right now, and I know he listened to the podcast, and he gonna know I'm talking about him when he hear this. No shame between us. I ain't gonna say his name, but he know I'm talking to him. And he asked me to help him to change. He said, "Will you coach me?" Now, one of the things that he admits is sometimes he gets in his own way, and
Yeah.
sometimes he can't stay committed to the process. And so I challenged him. I said, "Here's a book I want you to read. It's called The Power of Habit." He
Okay.
said, "I've read it before." Okay, great. This should be easy. When you finish that book is when we'll start our coaching session. A couple months go by and I ask him, "You finished the book?" "No." "Well, you said our coaching session would start after I finished the book." I said, "Did you ever consider that maybe that was the start of the coaching session?
Mm.
Come
Think
on.
about what you wanted to accomplish."
Come on.
Right? Change is a process. And a lot of times people are not willing to commit to the requirement. And I'm going to use that word intentionally, the requirements of change. It's not about a duration.
Yeah.
It's not about a step-by-step process. It
Yeah.
just has requirements that you have to commit to before
Yes.
you even start.
Yes.
And that's the
Mm.
I
part
call
that
it
people,
checking the box. There's
Man.
something you have to get. And I'll tell you, most people would say that during such a hard time, like their faith will be shaken. But more than anything, my belief in my power in his power was strengthened. I was like, there's no way that you got woman. I didn't have a gun, a taser, nothing happened to me during these
Mhm.
times. And so I knew, just like you said, checking the box, you have to, in order for you to get to the next one, you have to get whatever it is in this. If it's read the book, if it's check a box, if it's learn this lesson,
Mhm.
like sometimes, but there's so many people that do not, they're never mind. I'll just stay where I am. I'm good. You know, I'll keep doing whatever I'm doing, and unhappy or not, they'd rather stay right there, complacent, you know. Yeah.
Yep. Shane, you held back. What was that thought?
I mean, there was a lot. Like y'all would, some of us would rather stay in the insanity of discomfort than run in the discomfort of growth.
Come on now.
That's
Yep.
wild. I just bought The Power of Habit. Because
I'm gonna have to get it.
yeah, I just went and said, all right, hit it. There was a bunch. There was a bunch. There was a bunch. That's some good stuff. Like, had you would have told me at the beginning of the conversation that you were homeless for 6 months, I'm like, where the hell did that come from? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just
That's actually when I lived in. Actually, that's my second stint of homelessness in Washington. When I first moved there, I was homeless
Wow.
for about a month and a half. I moved there and did not have a place to stay.
yeah.
Like and when I thought I did, but I didn't. I got there and they're like, yeah, no.
You see,
place
but
is not-
conventional wisdom, right? Like
Yeah.
somebody will hear that and call you irresponsible. I hear that and I just think, go ahead on, girl. You like went after something you thought. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain goals, and I think I've said this before here, that's gonna require you to sleep in your car.
Yeah.
That's gonna require you to be homeless. That's gonna require you to miss a meal. That's gonna require you to pass on something. And like it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, you know. So that's wild. I didn't expect that turn or that bend in the conversation, you know.
Especially not 2 times.
Not
Twice.
Come on, hindsight is 2020.
Like it blows my
Yo.
mind to even like every time I'll be honest, even for a while, I think I even like blocked it out. Like it wasn't even
Really?
like I didn't want to believe it, because I'm like, at this time I wasn't on drugs, I wasn't an alcohol. I mean, like I'm not an alcoholic, like I'm not an irresponsible parent. Like I have 2 college degrees. Actually, I'm 2 classes away from a 3rd college degree. Like I was in a bridge program to get a PhD before I moved to Seattle. Like this doesn't line up.
Yeah,
Like,
those dots don't connect.
they don't connect. And even me, I was like, how is this me? Like I'm sleeping in my car. Like,
Mm.
this is not a thing. Like, I blow my mind, but then I go, you know what? I had to get this. I had
The
to.
journey.
Yes.
The journey.
So I appreciate these days where, you know, and I appreciate, all I can say is I am so thankful for these days. But I realized I had to go through those days to get here and appreciate these, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Let's do this. Share with people who are interested in getting into this biz one thing to look out for before they jump into the deep end of this real estate pool. One thing. I don't want you to give all the game, just one thing. Look out for this.
There's a lot. You got to really go. Okay, if you're an agent, you're getting into the industry, you're brand new to it, you got to go with your gut on who mentors and coaches you. There's a lot of people out here that will say, you know, I'm a mentor, I'm a coach. You know, come join my brokerage, join my team, and you will just basically be throwing away money, thousands upon thousands of dollars. And a lot of agents will get out of the industry because they're literally spent, like, they have no guidance, no, people have just taken advantage of them being brand new. You know, pay this amount and I'll coach you. And then the coach goes missing or the mentor goes missing. You never can get in touch with them. So really go with your gut. I'm big on, you know, when agents come to me and I interview them, hey, if you find another team that's better than by all means go. And as a matter of fact, even if you still need me after you're over there, don't hesitate to call. If you still got questions, reach out. Because when I tell you this is it's like, it is a Shark Tank if you allow it. You got to have some really thick skin. So that's probably my suggestion is go with your gut.
Yeah.
Make sure that you find some solid mentorship, some solid coaching from some really, really good people, because there's some really bad people in here too.
Gotcha. Professional opinion. And as of today, October 5th, is it a good time to buy right now?
In Dallas, DFW is perfect because there's actually houses, and I've even posted on my stories and things. I'm actually seeing houses where a year ago, 7-8 months ago, you didn't see houses in the $200,000 range. Not livable. They were not livable. If they were, investors were snagging them up, paying cash, and they were gone in a few hours. But it's actually a good time to buy.
So prices are kind of dropping and leveling off.
Prices are more normal.
Gotcha.
And you're seeing a lot of the, like, Bank of America, Simmons Bank out here dropping a lot of programs to assist your traditional, your everyday buyer. You know, with down payment, closing costs, incentives, buy down the interest rate, things like that. So it's actually a really good time to buy if you're in the market. So
can you only help people in your metro area, or can you help someone anywhere? I don't know, how far does a realtor license take you?
Does it take you? So I'm licensed for the entire state of Texas, and I do service the entire state of Texas. I am under a brokerage that also reaches 47 of the 50 states. So I actually can refer to other states or from other states and still support a client in another state.
But not all realtors have that. It's more about the brokerage that they are aligned with, right?
Potentially. If you're with the brokerage that is national, it makes it a lot easier to refer, because it's basically like a sister state kind of thing,
Gotcha.
So it's easy to just reach out into our systems and say, hey, we need an agent that's in South Carolina. You can look them up, you can see what their stats are, and then you can communicate.
Yeah,
I'll give you a call. It's a little more difficult if you're with like a small brokerage that only services one metroplex or maybe just one state, because then at that point you have to go searching, and then you don't know what you're getting.
Yeah.
You don't know the type of training they're getting and things like that. So it's a little more difficult. You can still refer even if they are with a different brokerage, but a little more difficult.
Got it. Got it. Well, Britt, you gave us a lot of gems. We sure appreciate you. We're not going to take any more of your time. We know you got a long day as is, and you still got to get the kiddies home.
Got to get them home.
Because you can help so many people still, and I know you have a lot to offer. Tell the people where they can find you. This is our footwork segment. How do they get in touch with you? What do you got going on that they need to know about?
So we have the team, 111 Property Group. We service all real estate needs. So we are on Instagram, Facebook. On Instagram, it's just 111 Property. Real simple. My real estate page is realtor.brit_. And kind of new upcoming things. I host a lot of networking events, workshops. And I'm actually going to launch a new, well, I'll say I'm just going to call it rebrand because I've been doing the networking events. I've rebranded and we'll launch an event in December. It's going to be a mixer gala. It's going to be lots of fun. And it's called Strictly Business Mixer Gala. So that'll be going throughout the rest of the year, workshops, all that good stuff. But you can keep up with me on Instagram, realtor.brit_.
That's dope. Oh, I can't wait. I'm telling you, if you haven't already, go follow Britt. I promise you, she's doing some dope stuff. I've been watching, I've been seeing the elevation. I'm just trying to slide right under the coattails, right? I say she doing something. She doing something. I've been watching. She done figured something out.
I'm working on,
yeah.
Empire. Try to leave some stuff for these guys,
yeah,
when I'm gone, kind of thing. So
Love
I
it.
appreciate it, the support. So
for sure. Shane, what we got going on this time around?
Follow me on Facebook, Shane Calhoun. They spell the last name the right way, COLQUHOUN. And then also follow me on my motivation page on TikTok at Create and Hustle 1440. On both places you can catch the reels and the digital content that we're creating. So follow me on Facebook, follow me on the TikTok at Create and Hustle 1440.
Bet. And for anybody looking for apparel needs, whether it be sweatshirts, t-shirts, long sleeves, you name it, we can do it. Profile District, PROFYLE district.com. This year, there's been a huge need for some reason. High school reunion is coming up and they need some customized shirts.
Yes, sir.
So if your reunion is coming up, you're getting back out, I promise you, we got some dope designs that we've been doing. Check us out, profiledistrict.com. Britt, as always, we appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time and your consideration, truly.
thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here. I appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely. Our audience, as always, we wrap every episode up with a quote that I think is so pertinent to this conversation. Our friend Les Brown said this: you must tell yourself, no matter how hard it is or how hard it gets, I'm going to make it.
That's right.
Bang, 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 bang.
No matter how hard it is, no matter how hard it gets, I'm going to make it. You have to tell yourself that, because the world will tell you different, but you got to talk to you and tell you what's best for you. Purpose Addicts, we love you. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, share the show. Check us out on YouTube. Bunch of dope content coming this way. This is the kickoff of season 3. I promise you, it's going to be a good ride. As always, go live life on purpose. We out.